Imagine this. Imagine walking into two buildings. You got it in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first one is over 150 years old. Hundreds of people live there. Some died there. The walls are cracked. The floors creak. And every room feels like it belongs in a horror movie.
So it's like an old Kenosha apartment building.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yet nothing happens,
Okay.
right? So no footsteps, no voices, nothing like what a paranormal investigator really dreams about happening, right? So what if it's an ordinary house? So that the other building is the other building, as I can spit this out, is an ordinary house, right? It's a nice neighborhood, nothing out of the ordinary, not even in a horror flick or whatever. Imagine maybe like a chick flick kind of thing, rom-com. Or better yet, a Hallmark movie.
Oh, God. Okay.
So there's no famous history behind it, no murders, no murderers, and no tragic headlines. Okay? But every time someone stays in that house, they actually report the same thing. Okay? Someone walking upstairs, a shadow figure standing in the hallway, objects moving, voices calling their name. Kind of similar to the location that we just investigated the other day. Didn't even think of this house being active, but yet here we are like in the midst of a suburbanite neighborhood, and yet we have all the tricks and spills that us investigators really want.
Literally
right?
all the bells and whistles going off over there.
Yeah, well, I like my analogies, but whatever. So tonight we're actually going to dive into one of the biggest mysteries in the paranormal research. And why do some places become haunted versus other places not so much, right?
Okay.
So we're Chad and Elliot Scott. We're from the Dead Air Podcast, Kenosha, and we are your local paranormal investigators. So if you or anyone you know is looking to get answers about the paranormal or an activity that's happening in your business or even your home, check us out or email us. We're glad to help.
All right, so Alia, a lot of people assume that tragedy is what creates hauntings. Like a murder inside a house, some kind of they fell from a roof and they died, or whatever happens that
Suicide or anything.
Suicide, something like that. Some kind of death that happened on the premises, in the house, in the commercial building. That spirit, that person that died there, then becomes a ghost and stays there and haunts the place then from then on.
Right.
But from our own personal experience, from investigating places, we don't haunt the places, but from investigating places.
I mean, if I died, maybe I'll haunt you.
Probably. But from investigating places, we've learned that that's not really always the case.
True.
So why do people tend to believe that? Do they just want to believe that their loved ones, or they just are trying to make up a story to say that the place that they live in or the place that they work at is haunted?
It's not being made. They're not making up stories. I mean, like, I'm not saying everyone, maybe some people.
Right.
However, tragedies actually have a big impact on the the psychology of your brain. Like, your brain does not want anything hard to happen or evil to happen, but alas, it does. So they make up this whole, well, there was a tragedy here, so it must be haunted because, like, I can't explain any other way. Like,
I can't explain those footsteps that I heard last night.
Right.
So there has to be something here.
Right, exactly. But they're also not trained investigators to debunk those types of activities, like a creak in the house. It can be a floorboard just kind of being swell or contracting because of the weather, because of the heat, or or the AC kicking on and during the summer or whatnot, or even the winter because, depending on your menopausal state, I'm like right in the throes of the situation, and I completely agree of turn that AC on. I don't care what time of the year it is.
For 5 minutes, and then you're freezing cold, you want it off. So.
Exactly. It's
a never-ending battle. Yep.
So, but the thing is, like, they do want to see something logical connected to the activity that is happening in their house, or that kind of not make them seem crazier than they are, kind of thing. So, I mean, and I'm not saying the tragedy didn't cause the increased activity, actually, because of the fact that increased activity or that tragedy imprints with a high emotion. So that kind of plays into the environment too. The spirits feed off of that energy, and so they're able to do a lot more stuff in the house or in the place or whatever. And a lot of the emotional events, I believe, actually help generate these activities, poltergeist activity, kind of thing. So I think that's it's a logical explanation. At least a lot of people try to have a logical explanation.
And we all like to be logical, so we don't like the unexplained.
Live long and prosper, just like Vulcan. I had to. All right. So anyways, also, did you know that ancient civilizations actually believe the emotional or powerful emotions can actually linger after death? Like it was a big imprint. Just imagine, let's say, Looney Tunes. Wile E. Coyote, like, they ran so fast that their spirit or their dust is still in their form of their body in midair. So
Roadrunner would do that all the time, man.
Yeah, Roadrunner. Yeah. And like I think all of those old cartoons for
so
sure.
So at what age do you think our viewers are going to be cut off where they don't remember Looney Tunes anymore?
Oh my gosh.
Like, we grew up with Looney Tunes.
And we're old though.
I mean,
we're in the 40s.
We're older. I wouldn't say we're old.
Oh, we're old. I'm almost 50.
But what age do you think our viewers are going to not remember Looney Tunes? Like, Abby has seen Looney Tunes, but she didn't grow up with Looney Tunes.
Not the old Looney Tunes, though.
No, she has seen the old ones because they played on the Cartoon Network, and I've watched it with her before.
Okay.
I don't know if she remembers it, but I've watched it with her before.
I mean, if you're the age of in their 20s, for sure, don't remember the Looney Tunes.
I would say probably
upper 30s.
I would say probably 30 and younger for sure.
Yes, they won't know or remember Looney Tunes or even expose, even at like the new Looney Tunes, I think.
Oh, it's definitely not the same.
Definitely not the same. It is too safe.
Yeah, because I think our Looney Tunes and Animaniacs, those were all done in the 90s. I don't think they made it past the 2000s.
Animaniacs, I think it was late 90s, early 2000s. Maybe you can go and check that up while I talk about the rest of this. So here's what actually, can you imagine? Okay, so we've been on Earth whatever amount of years, but the thing is, throughout the years, we have hospitals who house people when their time was done, like in their moment of grief, a moment that was so impactful that it may have left a mark in the universe, in the world. Prisons as well. Like, I've actually visited one prison, which, I mean, during the day, and I feel like there was a whole bunch of people that kind of drew away from the experience, but like, jails have in-house, in close quarters, convicts with high emotions. They're coming off drugs and alcohol, or even like murder kind of thing. The intense anger that is being felt in those walls kind of thing. I feel like it just impacts everything. You want to answer that?
No, I don't know who it is.
Okay. So it impacts everyone. So like, I feel like those, even cemeteries. I mean, thousands and thousands of people are housed in the cemeteries.
Housed or buried?
Well, housed. In their way, they're being housed. I mean,
I guess if you're in the mausoleum, you're housed.
Well, I mean, whatever. Whatever. I mean, the coffins are like little houses, I guess, you know? I mean, crematoriums kind of thing. So, but the thing is, like, but only a tiny percentage of those locations are truly haunted. Or are they all haunted? I would love to hear from you. Like, are they all haunted? And not just a tiny amount.
Right.
Kind of thing. Because of the fact that the increase of those emotions at that time of death and during the hospitals, the cemeteries, the emotions from the family burying their loved ones, the battlefields. I didn't mention the battlefields, like the intense emotions during a fight. Like, I know I've been in some fights, and the intense emotions of those small little, like, tiffs. Can you imagine a huge battle? That anger, like, just kind of resonated from your pores, essentially.
And remember, a lot of times, like during the Revolutionary War and even Civil War, during those big battles, they didn't take every individual body and bury them in individual graves. They would just dig mass graves and throw all the bodies in there at the battlefield itself.
Too many people, that's why.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, can you imagine the restlessness of these spirits? How come not everywhere is swimming in hauntings? That's what I'm kind of confused about and curious about at the same time. So, Animaniacs or Looney Tunes?
So, I mean, the Looney Tunes actually started way back in the 1930s. There are shows still running today. But the ones that we grew up with, they like ended in the 1980s, and then some of them ended like 1999, 2000.
Okay.
Like there's, I don't know, lots of different shows, like Pinky and the Brain, the Sylvester and Tweety show. I think the
what
one that...
What do you want to do today, Brain?
Same thing we do every night.
I'm trying to take over the
Exactly.
world.
Like I think the one that we grew up with was That's Warner Brothers.
Uh-huh.
It started in 1995.
I feel like I was started earlier than that.
The Bugs Bunny and Tweety show, I remember that one. It started in 1986. They ran through 2000. Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes Comedy Hour, that started in 1985 through 1986. That was only a year, apparently.
So, I mean, like in the 1980s to the early 2000s, these cartoons
that was
ran.
That was their big, like their heyday, I guess you could say.
So let's talk about Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Where's that one at again?
That's actually in Louisville, Kentucky. It was actually opened in the early 1900s as a tuberculosis hospital. And what is TB?
It's a very bad disease. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I know that we had to be tested for it every 2 years or every 3 years as paramedics. I don't remember how often.
I think it was like every 3, but it attacks the lungs and you can't breathe.
That's right.
Kind of thing. And then you end up going into an iron lung because of the fact that you can't breathe in your lungs.
It puts fluid around your lungs. Excess fluid. It's kind of like pneumonia.
Worse than pneumonia, I think. I mean, it's a severe case of it, yes. But yeah, so it's a tuberculosis or TB hospital during this time. And there was no actually effective cure for the disease. I mean, now we have the ability to check for it. Do we have it? We do have the ability to
Well,
cure it.
There's a vaccine for it, I think, or treatment for it.
I think we have a treatment for it. Yeah. So, thanks to modern medicine. So, but thousands of people were actually treated over the years, and not many actually survived. They actually, it's interesting because like there are a lot of claims that people, actually more than 60,000 people died. I am not sure about that number, if that's completely accurate, or I don't know because there's no historical records supporting it, but this is what's being out there. There's about 60,000 people that died at Waverly. I mean, I can see that because that thing is huge. Huge. But today, actually, Waverly is a prime spot for investigators to spend the night, especially in the body chute, where they take the dead bodies.
Who would want to spend a night in a body chute? That sounds gross.
It's just a tunnel that they just took the bodies down. It's just easier.
So it's a hall.
It's a body chute. It's a chute. Tunnel.
Is it a hall or is it like a slide where they would slide the bodies down?
Oh, but I believe it's a slide to go slide the bodies down. There's the steps. There's steps for the people who's holding the thing, the rolly thingy.
The cart?
Yes. The rolly thingy is a very technical term,
Sounds
people.
technical.
Okay. So they will take the body, so they're like walking
on the rolly thingy.
On the rolly thingy, and down to either the crematorium or outside to be disposed of. And they wouldn't do it throughout the hospital, so it's like an underground tunnel. So I really, 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 really want to see that, by the way. That is my ultimate checklist, bucket list
Sounds
places.
Disgusting.
But anyways, people sleep on one of those morgue tables that you pull out to keep the body cold. Oh, I'm going to do that too. Anyways, so many things that I was going to do.
Don't you understand that you're old? You think your back can handle that?
I'm not going to sleep in it.
You just said you're going to sleep on the
I'm
morgue
gonna
table.
lay on it, I said.
You just said you're going to
Do an
sleep
EVP
on the morgue
session
table.
during it. Yeah, you were just doing, it's not a slap table. It's just like you roll it out. It's a drawer. It's a body drawer. Anyways, moving on. So every investigator has gone there, haven't reported footsteps. They've actually caught figures and shadow figures there. And also like the sense of dread over there as well in certain places. But whether those experiences are actually paranormal or simply because the building has history with such an immense amount of death, does that play in a role of the experience? And is that like, so if like tragedies create like, say, hauntings, Waverly definitely fits the cake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fits the cake?
Fits the mold?
Fits the mold? Fits the mold. I don't know. I have always
We make up our own words here,
exactly.
like Big Feet.
Big Feet. Oh my God, we need to bring that back.
You keep trying.
I know, right? Big Feet. Let's make it happen, people. So the next one is the Eastern State Penitentiary, and it housed actually one of the biggest mobsters from the 1920s. Can anyone guess who? Drop it down in the comments. All right. Well, Chad, who is the biggest gangster in 1920s that stayed in there for at least 8 months?
Al Capone, of course.
Oh, yes, it is. Al Capone actually was there, along with prisoners who actually kept almost completely isolated. And because officials actually believe that solitude would encourage them to reflect on their crimes and become better people. So who here has gone and, let's say, meditate and reflected off of your behavior or the day? Did it make it feel better, make you feel better? Or did it just make you like, I'm bored of this, I want to move on kind of thing? Or didn't do anything kind of thing? So, any fun facts on Al Capone, Chad?
I don't really have any fun facts about Al Capone himself, but there was a restaurant when I lived in St. Charles called Al Capone's Hideaway.
Really?
I don't know if he actually, supposedly he actually used to eat there. It's permanently closed now though, so you can't eat there anymore. Mm-hmm. But it was a really good steakhouse. We ate there a few times when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. But it's closed now, unfortunately. So.
Oh, that sucks.
I know.
I would have really loved going there.
A really great piece of history, in my opinion, that's closed now. So.
Right.
Oh well.
Maybe.
Such goes life.
Maybe we can drive by there.
Yeah.
We cannot enter unless we get permission. So That's called trespassing, and trespassing is a no-no in the paranormal world, or even urban exploration kind of thing. But anyways, back to the Eastern State Penitentiary. So many inmates actually experience psychological effects from the isolation. So today's visitors were actually report hearing footsteps, whispers, and like shadow figures. And I'm wondering if those whispers are people back then trying to talk to themselves because they didn't have anyone to talk to. So do you think it's an imprint of that time, or are they actually excited for people there and interacting with the people?
I mean, I would want to think that they're excited for people and trying to interact with them, but...
But the thing is, like, when you become isolated, you get so used to being isolated kind of thing. So that's another thing on my bucket list, to go to Eastern State Penitentiary.
Or if they're like you, they just like to talk to themselves.
True. And I do answer myself, so I do hold an office meeting sometimes.
I do that too.
It kind of helps.
I get the responses I want that way.
Exactly. I don't have to deal with other people's opinions.
That's right. Nobody argues with me then.
Oh, well, I argue with myself, though.
Well, it's your personality is coming out.
But anyways, so all prisons around the world have actually been suffering. Why has Eastern State Penitentiary become one of the most famous paranormal locations, while others may not be as popular? You would think all jails are created equal.
My guess that the other ones just aren't as active, probably. Investigators have been there; they're not getting as much evidence. Like I know that the Joliet prison in Illinois, I've heard of investigators going there and doing investigations, and they get like nothing.
I mean, we went there during the day, but I feel like it was more. I had some experience, but not much.
Yeah, I mean, we were there just like during a day tour, so we weren't allowed access to a lot of the prison. But I mean, it was pretty boring, letdownish, I guess you could say, especially for an investigator. So,
right.
I mean, that's my opinion. Is that a lot of these other prisons, maybe they're just not getting a lot of evidence. So, investigators are like, well, this is boring. I don't want to go back there. Let's go to a more active prison.
Well, the third one is the Gettysburg Battlefield. Okay, so the fun fact, this is actually the bloodiest battle during the Civil War. Why is it bloodiest battle? It's because over 51,000 soldiers died, killed, wounded, captured, or even just went missing. And it's only it only went 3 days. So can you just imagine? It was just swimming with blood and guts and all that sort of stuff. It was so gross. But anyways, people who often go or pass through take pictures and have captured full body apparitions, heard footsteps, heard voices as well. People in uniform during that time. Which, I mean, are we seeing people from the past, or are we looking at the reenactors? Because we know we have reenactors, right?
I mean, I'm sure if you're there during a reenactment, then you're seeing reenactments people.
True.
If you're there when there's no reenactment going, then maybe you're seeing spirits. So.
I mean, I really, really, really want to go to these places, man. Like, as I talk about them more and more, I really want to go, man. Again, I mean, it just makes you wonder, like, if the loss of life alone is such an impact that it creates hauntings, why aren't all battlefields reported to be active? Like, this whole U.S. was fought with different battles. And I mean, like, in different parts of our U.S., like between the French and Indians, or the French-Indian War, you know, against England, the English against Americans. Crazy. Spain, conquistadors, like, they came to America. Like, why aren't all battlefields being reported to be haunted, but yet this sticks out?
Maybe they are, and they just don't say it from the rooftops.
But it's weird because, like I said, like, why aren't we getting hauntings from other places, which aren't really, I mean, they're not being reported. And I know investigators, they love to report their findings.
But maybe investigators aren't having the hauntings because it's just everyday people that live near these places and they just aren't seeing anything.
Oh, true. So if you are one of those people, reach out. We will love to have you on our show. You don't have to be here in Kenosha. We can always do a FaceTime, Skype, whatever. I don't think there's a Skype anymore, is it? FaceTime, Zoom, Google Meet. And we can get you on our show. So my opinion on these hauntings, I really do think that it is definitely haunted. These places are definitely haunted because of the fact that the energy is so self-controlled inside, and it had to go somewhere or stay somewhere because they don't know where to go, essentially. What do you think? Do you think these are actual hauntings or just like residual like history that's happening?
I think at some place like Gettysburg where there was so much death, like you said, and it's probably an actual haunting because 51,000 people died there. 51,000 American souls died there. Most of them probably didn't go into the light for whatever reason. So they are just kind of wandering through the battlefield, not knowing what to do themselves. They see other people there, and they're like, hey, I want to talk to you. And throughout all this, almost century and a half now that they've been there, they've probably learned how to move things, talk through the veil, even touch people. And I think they're actual hauntings now, so.
I really do think so too, because of the fact that there are just so many coincidences of the same type of experiences amongst anyone. Even if you're not a paranormal investigator, and like Chad said, like, what if you're those families that actually live in the area and probably are experiencing some sort of activity? So I really truly believe that these are true hauntings, true people from those past, those violent deaths, especially. And some actually claim that children are more sensitive to these hauntings, to these people. So, and others are the empaths that actually truly can solidify, yes, I can feel these souls, these spirits, this energy here. Kind of thing. So we've talked a lot about these horrific or these areas in which can hold the energy or can have experience evilness, you want to say? Or
I wouldn't even say necessarily evil, just energy.
High emotional times.
Yeah, just energy.
Right. I mean, energy and the high emotional times, like the jails and like the hospitals when you're truly sick at your worst kind of thing. So it kind of brings us to one of the oldest paranormal theories, stone tape theory. This theory suggests that certain materials, actually, especially stone, limestone, I believe, is one of the may cause to hold the energy where it's at, like a magnet or a tape, or sorry, I didn't mean to hit you, but like tape, and it kind of stays on that tape, that lint or material or whatever, it kind of stays where it's at. So can somehow record that emotional event, like a tape, cassette tape or a videotape, if you're old enough to remember the VHS tapes, like a magnetic tape. And playing over and over and over and again. However, it has not been scientifically proven that this actually occurs. So obviously, I find it very fascinating because old stone buildings, castles, hospitals, they usually have the foundation of an old stone foundation that kind of keeps in the energy. That high emotional time, like, stays there, and then it conducts that, and it's a very conducive type of stone, right? I don't know, coincidence, I don't know, know if it's just coincidence. I just really feel like that stone can conduct and can help boost that energy and that activity.
Well, I've always heard that limestone is supposed to be a good conductor of paranormal activity, right?
Yep.
Like if there's limestone in the ground and you're at a haunted location and there's limestone underneath, supposedly limestone makes it more active.
Yep.
So.
Exactly.
So yeah, if your building is built out of limestone, then it's going to be a little more active if it's already haunted.
Exactly. So I think, and that kind of comes out to a local place, the Kemper Center here in Kenosha is one of the most talked about locations. So if you ever talk to any Kenoshans and ask them which area or which building is the most haunted, without proven fact, and they will all say the Kemper Center. So even though the stories are about the footsteps and shadow figures and the unusual sounds circulating amongst the visitors and investigators when they were able to get in, there is actually no scientific evidence confirming paranormal activity. So actually, many actually wonder whether the building's age, architecture, and the long history kind of contributed to the experience, and not just the necessary it's haunted because it's truly haunted. You know, the same conversation comes up with the Green Ridge Cemetery. It's the oldest cemetery here in Kenosha, and I believe it's definitely haunted. I've gone there multiple times. I've experienced it at the height of the activity, meaning that as soon as it turned dark, I started hearing wrestling, shadow figures, etc. So, and not just because the cemetery had that reputation already.
Right.
You know, I didn't hear about that reputation before until I got there. So, it was interesting.
So what about the land, Alia? Sometimes people say that land can be haunted just because of what could be buried there, what once lived there, what's built on the land, what's going to be built on the land. How can land, like just vacant land, be haunted?
So that is a very, very complex question, Chad. Just because of the fact that it comes in with a non-confirming idea of people being buried on the land. And I know there is a practice that people have actually built over cemeteries, like removing headstones. Again, we don't and we can't confirm certain things, right? So this is exactly what can contribute to a haunting, a burial ground that no one knew about, and the people who passed away are pissed. You know, I would be pissed, like, dude, I'm laying here, I'm trying to lay restfully, you know, but here you are, you know, wake me up, kind of thing. So, yeah. So between that and also like water is a really good conduction of electricity, or even the energy. It contributes to the energy, at least with thoughts. Again, no scientific backing of proof to this. However, it's just maybe coincidence that a location that actually has activity just happened to be by a running water or stream or whatnot. What else? What's another good conductor that can help contribute to activity, Chad?
Well, I would say power lines. That'll give you a false positive, though, because that's electricity running through the area. That'll give you EMF, because power lines give off EMF readings, but that's false EMF. That's man-made EMF, not ghost EMF. So.
That's another thing for our man-made. That kind of brought this up in my head. Human perception. You know, that's man-made. If you want something to be haunted, it's going to be haunted because your mind wants it, and it can see it. It's going to change everything, kind of thing, to a positive haunting. Whether or not it's true, it's a different story. And I feel like that's why I don't like investigating outside, because of the fact that there's a lot of interference that can be mistaken as hauntings. I mean, you're in, let's say, a cemetery. Even the cemetery, you're out in the open, you know.
You have critters running around.
Mm-hmm. Kind of scary critters, by the way. I hate nature sometimes. So, anyways, so like critters that are rustling in the leaves, like, oh my God, I heard footsteps. What if it was just a critter or a rabbit or something like that, or a raccoon getting food or whatever, you know? And then that also comes to a play. Those critters can be big like a coyote and they're about to eat me. Yeah, no thank you. So, sorry, as our little big critter here and distracts me. So anyways, scientific studies haven't established a direct link to these hauntings, right? But research have actually found that environmental conditions such as unusual EMF fields can affect how people perceive their surroundings. So just be safe.
So some Kenosha examples, Petrifying Springs Park. A lot of people have said that they've seen strange lights while walking around there. Mm-hmm. They've heard some voices. They've even seen some shadow figures walking around there. We've talked about this before in videos.
Oh, yes.
But are those true? Are those just people thinking that they're seeing things or wanting to see things that aren't really there? Are they man-made things? Are they animals that they're seeing? Mm-hmm. What could they be?
So what makes Petrifying Springs haunted and, let's say, the forest down the road not haunted? Like, why wouldn't that forest have that positive experience that from people versus the other one has nothing?
Yeah, why is Pet Springs haunted, but Bong Recreational Park out in the county is not haunted?
So we know.
Why are they so different? Like, we've never heard any stories about Bong Recreational Park, but we hear all kinds of stories about Petrifying Springs. Why are they so different? Me personally, I've never seen anything at Petrifying Springs, and we spend enough time there. I've never heard any stories there. I've never had any experiences there, so I don't think it's haunted, but, you know, of course, we can never say anything for sure, so.
Exactly. So the thing is, what makes the Green Ridge Cemetery super haunted versus the cemetery off of Bain Road not haunted? So is it truly a human perception that kind of changes the aspects of a certain area because of the history behind it? Because we have like a heavy history on the Green Ridge Cemetery for it being such an older cemetery, whereas Bain is such a, I want to say, newer, quote unquote, newer cemetery. And I have had some people reach out to tell me that Bain Cemetery are people who have not been identified. You would think that would be super high with activity because they're unrested, meaning that they people don't know that they're there, you know. But who's to say no one has had experience? But the thing is, if you had experience, wouldn't you say, then speak it to the world?
I mean, I think all cemeteries are haunted, but it's a cemetery. There has to be ghosts there.
They have to be.
That's right.
Like, damn if you do and damn if you don't.
That's right. There has to be ghosts there. There's bodies buried there. There have to be ghosts there.
Not necessarily.
Why wouldn't there be ghosts there?
I mean, it depends on your religious beliefs. Kind
of
thing, you know?
It doesn't matter. There's bodies buried there. There has to be ghosts there.
But it's what I'm getting at is Green Ridge is heavily haunted versus, so we go to these locations and before the equipment comes out, a good investigators observe. When I go to a location, I don't take out the tools, even though, you know, my lovely husband complains that I don't go straight to taking out the tools.
So you're busy chatting.
It's not just chatting. I'm getting information.
Chatting.
Okay. anyways, I'm observing as well as getting the information. So a good investigator gets the history, gets the environmental condition. Is it cold? Is it dry? Is it breezy? Where's the AC? Where's the vents, kind of thing? We need to see the consistency as well, right? Is this light flickering when we came, or was it steady, kind of thing? So you kind of have to see the natural patterns to provide natural explanations. So the equipment actually supports the observation. So I'm an empath. I usually use my abilities with all of my investigations. However, I do not solely rely on it because you can't prove psychologically what's in my head, right?
You can't prove a feeling.
And you can't prove a feeling. So you always use equipment to back everything up. Plus, it kind of helps with the people to believe that there is something out there. Okay? So tell your stories from your investigations. If you truly had a really impactful investigation, we would love to know and would love to talk to you, maybe bring you again on our podcast to talk about it. So maybe we've been asking the wrong questions. Instead of asking, why is this place haunted? Maybe we should be saying, what makes people return to this place? What, after generation, like convince what makes people return to this place generation after to convince something unusual here happened here. Okay, so why is this place haunted? Maybe we should be asking, what makes people come back to this place? Even generation after generation, they are convinced. I'm convinced that something happened at that location that makes them come back and get tied to that location. But the thing is also some locations don't get the activity versus others that become legends, like Kemper Center or the Green Cemetery here. Whether that's because of history or the land or the people, we need to ask, what makes them return? Did we not discover something that is very impactful in their lives?
All good questions.
So now it's your turn, guys. What's one place in Kenosha or anywhere you've been, actually, that gave you the feeling that you still can't explain? Not because someone told you that it was haunted, something that actually stayed with you. Share your story in the comments, and we read them all, and some may even inspire us in the future, or inspire someone in the future, or inspire a future episode of Dead Air Podcast Kenosha.
Have a good one, guys.
Till next time, guys, stay curious.